Hello, in the video. Today we're gonna take a look at Darkrai in the Open Ultra League here. We have a double Dark team, pretty standard line because we kinda still want to get some wins, of course, with Darkrai here. We have access to Sludge Bomb, which is a legacy move that is pretty much completely irrelevant and you most likely shouldn't really play it. But hey, it's better for the title, I guess. But yeah, play Focus Blast if you can. Focus Blast is definitely better. I just had the Sludge Bomb variant laying around. I want to make a video about Darkrai, so I keep the Sludge Bomb around because it's legacy. Like if I would remove it right now for Focus Blast, I'm not going to be able to get back unless I use an Elite Charge DM, which is kind of sad because if they just had a better system and just keep like the those legacy moves forever, if you had them once, then I could have just swapped to Focus Blast, which is better, but like this, I'm stuck with the Sludge Bomb, which theoretically should be able to beat like something like in swapping fairy types, but in reality, this is just not the case. Like every fairy type still survives a Sludge Bomb from Darkrai, sadly, so it doesn't really help unless we someday get maybe Shadow Darkrai, which would be able to one-shot stuff. Imagine, by the way, Shadow Darkrai, it looks so good. It's also, by the way, the only possibility to get Darkrai for Great League if we ever get it as a Shadow. So I'm kind of hyped for this, but we will see as we see Giratina coming in here, and Giratina against Darkrai is a pretty decent matchup usually, but we now see the Registeel. Maybe they expect us to have the Focus Blast here. Do they shield? They do not shield, and now we can still go for another move. Never mind, we can't, but we at least can go into our Scrafty now, farm up all the energy, and I don't think I'm going to throw a single move here. I can just farm them all the way down. Even if they debuff me here, we should be fine getting all the energy, getting all the foul play damage for laydown against the Giratina. We have 100 energy, we swap out into a Nidoqueen. We would be able to debuff the defense of the opponent. We easily would have been able to win the game, but like this, they just decide to surrender as we face a Talonflame swapping against our Darkrai. After a very horrible lead here, I will definitely gladly take this swap in because we can actually do some nice damage with our Darkrai against this Pokemon. As they go ahead, go for the Flame Charge, we can go for 3 more fast moves, allowing us to get to another Dark Pulse. Do we see how much damage it's going to do? We get another shield from the opponent, and we can still get to another one. So we gonna see how much damage it's going to do, and it does some pretty nice damage. It doesn't KO, and they can still farm us down here, which is kinda annoying, but hey, who actually expected Darkrai to be very good in the Ultra League? I didn't, but it's still a fun Pokemon to use, and it's a very nice Pokemon to use because you're going to be able to get out those counters for the Scrafty, which is something that I always like to see. We see something coming in here with Dark Pulse, I think it was. I'm not sure. It was a Mandibuzz. This is kind of horrible for us. I think this game is over because there's not a lot that we can do against this Mandibuzz. They go for one Aerial Ace, another Aerial Ace will KO us. We should maybe even go for the foul play at this point of time. But even then, like, how are we supposed to beat the Blastoise still, as we only have our Scrafty and our Nidoqueen left. Nidoqueen doesn't really like to face the opposing Blastoise, so we're going to surrender here. Next opponent going to have a Genesect. Looking at the module, this looks like the Ice-type Genesect, so I'm going to shield up the first move. It's going to be a Techno Blast. I'm not going to get blasted today, but I can go for the big bait here with our Poison Fang, double resisted, but still gets the shield and also the defense drop, and one Earth Power comes now through, and this gonna KO the opponent, as we see a Gallade swapping in and a Regirock swapping in. Imagine we had a Focus Blast here, that would have been amazing, but we can still go for one Dark Pulse, doing some nice damage here, putting him into range. And speaking of, I wish he had a Focus Blast, also the opponent maybe wish that they had a Focus Blast, because now Scrafty doesn't have to shield anymore, as like nobody will ever play a Regirock with Zap Cannon and Focus Blast. They will always have the Stone Edge, so I don't have to shield here. I see the Gallade coming in. I don't really have to shield here either because it's going to be a Leaf Blade and I can swap out. I have move stored. I don't have to really shield here either anymore as well, and I have now 2 moves stored onto my Scrafty, which will be enough to basically win us the game. But we're actually going to go ahead and shield because we can farm it down with the Nidoqueen anyway, so that makes it a little bit easier. As we see the next opponent, we have a Nidoqueen and Obstagoon. Against Obstagoon, it's pretty decent. You can go straight for the Poison Fang, but we see them going into another Dark type, and not the smartest team idea from the opponent here, being double weak to A, Fairy, and B, the fighting types, makes it a little bit tough for them, especially if I have a Scrafty, which is like the best matchup here. Like against the NiRiain is just so amazing. You can go for one power punch and you can just farm this thing all the way down, get basically out of this matchup with around 90 energy, and you should be able to basically punish everything that comes in here, as we see a Muk, which we cannot really punish. So yeah, not everything, I guess. You can only go for some power punches. We're most likely going to get to like +4 attack, but actually going to go for one foul play now, because +3 attack foul play does even do against resisted Pokemon a lot of damage, as they can still farm us down, but we can go ahead, go into our Darkrai. They most likely only have the acid spray here, doesn't do any damage, and we can go back into our Nidoqueen, winning us the game here basically. Very interesting triple dark team from the opponent. Like, if you're on triple dark, you definitely have to have double poison in the back as well, so Drapion, for example, or Skuntank instead of the NiRiain, but like this, you're just too weak to like charm users, to like fighting type users. All of those Pokemon are a little bit too strong, as they try to go for the big boom with the Obstagoon. Yeah, I kind of respect this, but this was it for the opponent. Next up, we're going to see a Warren coming in. Pretty decent for our Scrafty. We just go straight for the power punch. Our counter going to do way more damage now, and we easily will be able to farm this thing down. In the Ultra League, this matchup is way better for you than for the Great League, because you just way easier survive moves like the Icicle Spear here, as you can see. You would even survive another one, but you can just farm them down. While in Great League, it's sometimes actually a little bit iffy, because the Warren just gets to the move so fast and it's just so strong that sometimes even you have some problems there. But speaking of some problems, I think the opponent has some problems with our Scrafty, as they're going to shield up the first move here already and now swap into their Cresselia, as we have our Darkrai, of course, which is not really the best matchup either, because they have Moonblast. But Moonblast is still fine for us, as we can go for more Dark Pulses here. One Dark Pulse coming through, getting actually some nice damage on the opponent, and we can even go for another one. And now we can let the next move just go through here, as they go for one Moonblast. I would imagine at least, yes, one Moonblast coming through, and we can go ahead, go for one another Dark Pulse here, which is going to KO the Cresselia from the opponent. And we can also realign as we swap out now into our Nidoqueen, going for the big Earth Power here, super effective, shadow damage, stab damage, still not enough to KO a Muk. Muk is actually a Pokemon that I really want to build. If we ever get the No XL version of the Ultra League back, Muk gonna be the first Pokemon I'm gonna build there, because it like looks so good in the current meta surrounding the Warren and also the Trevenant. So I'm really excited to build this Pokemon finally, especially Shadow Muk looks really funny. So really hyped if we get the No XL version back, as we currently don't have information for the new season. I'm really curious how the new season going to be. We see the Venusaur going for a move, we see another Muk coming in, we can go for another Earth Power here. And I think I would just be able to go for another Earth Power afterwards again. But I mean, they are basically in a scenario where they only can go for Acid Spray now. Never mind, they run Gang Shot. Like, sometimes I'm a little bit in lower ranking right now. As I said before, I had to tank some games because I didn't really have time to play and I wanted the Stardust. But this is kind of ridiculous. What a nice moveset on the Muk. Definitely caught me off guard, I would say, as we can go for one Poison Fang here, which should put him close to being KO'd. Actually does KO already. And we see the opponent coming now into a Pangoro. Okay, that's going to be tough. I might have needed to catch this move, as they go into their Venusaur, and now this game is over. They're actually going to win with this very weird team here, which I still don't understand how it worked. But yeah, that was kind of an interesting game, to be honest. I'm kind of lost for words. But we see a Talonflame here against us in the lead, and this Talonflame does some very normal stuff, goes for 3 Incinerates, we can go for 1 Poison Fang, and we can get this thing low enough that we will be able to KO it with another Poison Fang. They go for a Brave Bird and swap out into the Umbreon, and yeah, Umbreon is just not a good safe swap in the current Ultra League meta, because there are a lot of teams with Scrafty on it. And against Scrafty, Umbreon is just too strong. If you run Umbreon in the Ultra League, I would suggest you to try it out in the Elite instead. It's a very neutral lead against nearly everything in the meta other than like Scrafty, and Scrafty usually is in the bag, so should be fine for you. Obstacle is a little bit tricky as well, of course, but again, we can just farm this thing all the way down, and we get to 90 energy, which is very good. As we see a Talonflame coming in again, we can go for one Foul Play. This Foul Play will be able to KO. They're going to shield this. We can go for another Foul Play, thanks for this. And this looks very good for us, as they have to shield another one. Do they want to shield another one? No, okay, they go for the charge move now. I should be able to farm down with our Nidoqueen here. I'm not gonna throw anything. And we see a Greedent coming in here. And of course, we can go for one Poison Fang here, getting this thing low. We can go for another Poison Fang. And we're going to try to win this matchup now with our Darkrai, but my opponent didn't really want to give me this end result there. And we basically won with just 2 Pokemon, which is kind of crazy. As we see a Mandibuzz coming in. This is kind of tricky and I don't really know how to play this game, and I definitely didn't play this game very well. I tried to catch the move, didn't work out, and now we're going to see that they can land their Aerial Ace against us, which is going to do some pretty decent damage, as we can go for one Sludge Bomb here, and this Sludge Bomb doesn't do quite enough, to be honest. Like, you see how much Aerial Ace does. Aerial Ace is a horrible move, like it's such a bad move, and it still puts us into a 3-shot range here, which is kind of insane, something that you don't really want to see in the Open Ultra League at least. But they swap in their Galvantula again. Galvantula has only resisted moves against Nidoqueen unless they run the Energy Ball, which is pretty much very, very rare. As they go for the charge move, it's going to be the launch. Very decent matchup for us now. We can just try to farm them down. Didn't work out quite, at least. But we still have a lot of energy. We can realign. We see a Mandibuzz coming in. We can go for the Poison Fang here. And we're going to get this thing pretty low, as we can go for another Poison Fang. And now we can just hope that they have something in the back that we can beat. This doesn't really look too good, to be honest. They can just go for 2 Drarons and our Pokemon is gone. They decide to go for the Mega Horn, to go for the one-hit KO. I don't know why I wouldn't shield here, to be honest. We can bait them. We can go for the foul play. And this is a good game, trainer. There is nothing you can do there. And my phone even overheats. Good game there. As we see the next opponent having a Walrein in the lead. Walrein lead is of course horrible for us. I actually thought of playing Hydreigon first in the back there. But then I realized, okay, I have a ground type in the lead. Maybe a dragon type. Might not be the best idea in a Walrein type meta. And so we have the basically very lame Scrafty in the back instead, which I guess it's also pretty fine. We see the opponent actually being able to farm us down here against the Darkrai. Darkrai is just not very good, to be honest. I still had like crazy good results, but this is because I am a legend player playing at 2400 elo. So, and also have 2 very good Pokemon around the team. If you just want to have this team as a, I don't know, a very good team to use, just use as a safe swap something like, for example, the Mandibuzz. The Mandibuzz has the advantage compared to the Umbreon that you have better answers for something like a Scrafty, which might trigger you a little bit. So this would be a good safe swap, or also other Pokemon would be a good safe swap, like the Drapion if you have a Drapion XL, something like this. But again, this will make the team very more expensive. In general, the Ultra League is very expensive itself, so we can actually double shield this Grassland here in the Cresselia, very fine for us. They go for another one, I just farm them down. Now I should be able to win the game if I just farm them all the way down. As we see the Talonflame coming in, first Poison Fang is coming, first Shield is coming. We swap perfectly onto the charge move into our Scrafty. They are debuffed. We can go for another one, go for the Poison Fang. Yeah, I hope they survive this move. And I just barely do survive this move. We can go for another Poison Fang, winning us the game against Cresselia with basically 1 HP here. Very good game there to my opponent. As we see the last and final opponent here, Escavalier in the lead. This is horrible. This thing is basically beating my entire team. So I have to kind of stay in here and I have to try to go for 1 Earth Power to KO this thing. We go ahead, shield this Drill Run, and we see the opponent going into Gyarados. Interesting pick. Like the pick in general is not very bad. Like in general, Gyarados plus the Escav is a very good core. They basically counter each other's weaknesses perfectly, I would say. So like it is a smart decision to have those paired, but I don't know why you just swapped out of this scenario in the lead. Don't really understand. And something that I also don't really understand, to be honest, is exactly this play here. If I remember correctly, they go for the crunch. They get the defense drop. I guess they wanted to do this, but why do you not go for the Aqua Tail, which is a guaranteed damage? Why do you go for the double resisted move? But my opponent makes a great play here by catching this Earth Power on their Swampert, but it doesn't really matter too much either because I can go for another one, and this one going to be able to KO this thing. We see the Escav going back in here, trying to go for 1 Drill Run. Smart decision. I'm going to try to bait here, I think. I have to bait here. I have to hope that I can get the final shield by my opponent. And we get the final shield by the opponent. We can go for another Poison Fang. I just try to stall the clock here, by the way. As I try to swap perfectly and I didn't swap perfectly. And there you go for the drill run. And this game is over, or not. We can get to the final move, win this game here. And this is going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. See you next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.